This video today is for the one or two people out there who have tight hamstrings. And I am one of them, so there's only one other person out there who has them, right? So we're using a ball, and I tend to, for the hamstrings, like to go with the air hockey ball, but a tennis ball works just fine, as does a racquetball. But this one tends to have a lot more firmness to it that the hamstrings tend to need, yeah? And so we're doing one movement, and all that movement really is to point the toes and flex them while we're having a seat on a blanket. And the ball is going to be along the back of the leg, from behind the knee all the way up toward the glutes. So have a seat with me, and let's see how this goes. If, when you come down to sit and you feel a little slumped, this needs to be higher. So you need to get maybe some pillows, maybe a bolster, maybe a couch cushion, something like that that gives you some lift to the sit bones here to your seat. And then we take this and we'll slide it just above the knee. So here's my knee. The ball is just above that. And I'm pointing and flexing. That's it. Now, there's a lot of tissue along there, the back of the hamstrings, and you can choose to go in any of those lines, but I'm just going to go straight down the middle of my thigh bone, up toward my sit bones. And you have the option of taking as long as you like on this, as many stops along here as you'd like as well. No big deal, yeah? So from there, then I'll lift, slide the ball up a little bit, and back down. And like I said, I'm not only the head of the Tight Hamstring Club, I'm a member too. So normally for me, I would spend a lot of time on this because I'd like to feel what's going on in all of those muscles back there. And it's a really simple movement, but I bet you'll feel it all the way up here, yeah? And that's why I like the firmer ball. So if you get to a really lovely spot, then we pause and take some breaths and envision that that breath is coming from the ball all the way up into the lungs and all the way back out. That's it. It's not about killing ourselves to do this, it's about really feeling what's going on in the back of the leg. So the adage, no pain, no gain, that was in the 80s, and we are no longer in the 80s. So from there, we'll bend, slide a little further up, and move again. The reason we're moving the ankle is because all those muscles of the ankle interact with the muscles of the hamstrings as well. So as they pull and push, we're still using some of the connective tissue and fibers all the way up here, even though it doesn't seem like it's a huge deal. Yeah? Maybe we pause and take a few of those breaths. Again, in and out, in and out. You might realize you're holding your breath too. So it's always good to pause and check in with that, and then further up. So now we're in the really fleshy, meaty part of the hamstrings up top. As you get further up the thigh, you can add in now some of the thigh rotation out and in, if that feels like a good idea, if you're noticing there's some tension to the sides of where that ball is. And it's not about getting rid of the tension. That's an interesting point. It's about feeling it, noticing it, and then having some movement around it, and your body starts to remember that. All right, we've got one more stop there. And at this top spot, going side to side actually would feel really good right now. So you'll know you're at the very end because the ball is actually going to come onto what you're sitting on. And it's just in front of your sit bones. So if you're on bone back here, on your buns, it's not going to sit comfortably. So you want to go just in front of that, and let your legs settle down. Not comfy. No, not lovely at all. What you'll notice is you have to lift up and sit to the side, because sitting directly down on it, not gonna happen, just not delightful. And then if you have a little bit of rotation, groovy. And if not, don't worry about it. Just have a seat, breathe in and out from where that ball is. Just envision that. Breath coming up and breath coming back down. And we lean to the side and come back out. Right? Set that to the side here. Now the cool thing is the pose, to feel the difference, is right here. We just tip forward. And that tip starts from your hip socket. So if you round and your butt goes back, then we're not using the hamstrings. It should just be a tipping forward, and then you feel this really lovely length along the one side. Like you can go so much further there than you can over here. It's true, this leg stops me right here, and this one wants to go so much further. From something so simple as just moving my foot and maybe rolling the thigh out and in and breathing, right? So your option, you can head back to the beginning of the video, watch it over again for the other side if you'd like. You can take a walk around to feel the legs and how they are in your thighs. Or you can roll the other side on your own. So you choose. But whatever you do, have a ball.